Hello again, everybody. It's time to liberate Blue Moon. As I mentioned, this battle is maybe a little bit less epic than the Hunt's End or Great Sea Battle, but I think it's really well balanced, and there's lots of fun ways to tackle it, so a fantastic mission. We've got all three of these guys other than Hawk here, chattering. I think it's a pretty fun scene with these three Blackwell COs. I wish they had a few more scenes together. It is kind of unclear to me how neither Hawk nor Sturm would have realized how badly things are going continent after continent by this point. As I've said before, the story of these games seems to rely upon the idea that there's no such thing as radio or other long-distance communication. So we get to have our choice of allies here, either Orange Star or Yellow Comet, because we liberated Yellow Comet first. And as I mentioned way back then when I picked the first Yellow Comet mission, the reason I did that was that Yellow Comet is very helpful on this mission, whereas Blue Moon is worthless on the Yellow Comet final mission. Thus, I think this is the smartest order. Grit, of course, used to be an Orange Star CO, and apparently left in better standing than Olaf, so no surprise that they might have listened to him when he asked for reinforcements. As usual, Olaf is a bad team player both in and out of character, so for no intelligent reason, he's angry that Orange Star is here to help. This is the first time I can think of that any of the characters in-universe ridicule Kanbei for cosplaying as a samurai. He does that in an even more silly way in the Japanese version. A lot of the CO's designs are sillier in Japan, actually. Grit wears a cowboy hat, Olaf looks just like Santa Claus, and especially in Advance Wars 1, a lot more of the American version COs wear things that look like military uniforms instead of civilian clothes. I think they made a good localization decision there. I would have hated the Japanese costumes. Normally I'd go with Colin Kanbei for this mission, but I thought of a crazy strategy to use Grit instead, so I'm going to try that. You get different dialogue depending on which COs you pick. Alright, let's take a quick look around the map. So we start off with, we can get a decent economy down here. The Allied army starts off with no buildings, but a small balanced pre-deployed force, which makes Kanbei the obvious best pick. There are some missile silos across the map, but the enemy can actually get to them quite quickly, so you better hurry if you don't want to have them launched at you. Then, of course, they have a factory. Now, they won't deploy any air units out of there, thankfully, but they can start deploying heavy ground units. They'll get their first MD tank on turn 5, and they'll be deploying some serious stuff even before that. So, quite dangerous to approach that. The pipe seam is really sheltered way back here with the factory blocking you from getting there, plus these mountains in the way, plus their two bases are right next to it too. Anyway, I'm going to skip my turn. Now, for Kanbei over here, I'm actually going to make a rush for that missile silo. He can get there before Grit can possibly get there, let alone before Black Hole can get there. And I have concocted a super aggressive strategy where I rush right toward the factory. And with either Max or Kanbei, I can just completely blitz the factory defenders and block it off on day 4. This is an incredibly effective opening. If you slow down even a little bit though, you often get delayed by 6 or 7 turns as she floods out powerful units and need to bring up a big army to just push her back. Alright, so next turn, she'll get herself triple recons. Grit still passes this turn. You know, Grit is pretty lazy. APC keeps advancing. Tanks full speed ahead through this relative break in the woods. There are a lot of woods here, so that definitely helps Lash and hampers everybody else. One clever approach, by the way, is to give one of the bases not to Colin, but to Max or Kanbei. Getting a few Kanbei infantry is amazing with conventional strategies here. For my strategy, it doesn't matter though. Normally you'd have Kanbei or Max go for the airport on the left, and then you'd use that airport to send out a bomber and break the pipe in that way. That's typically the best way to do this. But I thought of another way that's even faster. I think this is the fastest possible time. So I'm going to build a rocket right now, and then pass my turn. Alright, now let's hit those 3 recons while they're all together. I do want to save some things for Grit to kill, of course. But I also, need these guys to clear out of my way. So, down they go. As I mentioned in previous missions, for the power and technique score, the only people who matter are the home team army, so Blue Moon in this case. It's a shame because Kanbei is so good and can easily get so many kills. But I've got to get kills for Grit instead for power. APC will take a hit there, but I don't care, I'm Kanbei. This should be a pretty good location, I think. Lash can actually make a credible play for the Eastern Airport, so with a conventional strategy, you need to be ready to get there pretty fast and keep her from doing that. You want that for Colin instead. I take a bit of damage. Okay, so Grit can go ahead and advance. And we'll finally get some infantry out. So we're gonna need to load up there. I guess we can have that artillery take down his recon, clearing a path for the APC. The APC can now drive forward there and drop, and that's why we brought the APC along. It lets you just easily block off not one, but two spots at once. That's key to this strategy. Without it, you can't block off the eastern factory section. Hopefully this infantry lives with 1 HP. Fingers crossed for that. Yes, perfect. That'll help set up for a kill for Grit later, I think. So should this severely injured mech. And maybe this severely injured infantry. Because I blocked her so fast, it should be sufficient to give Grit just 2 kills. You usually need to range for 3 or 4, because they can deploy so many troops out of their factory. But this was just a lightning fast factory block before they can get anything out, basically. Fastest possible time. Not too worried about that. I don't actually care about Grit's economy for this strategy, so my infantry can just walk toward missile silos or toward the enemy where they can hopefully contribute to getting a good power score. Just need any kind of unit that can get in place fast and just shoot up a few infantry or things like that. Doesn't make a big difference what it is. I'm going to try to hamper Lash's movements. Maybe I can launch a missile with Kanbei. Oh, joined up. What a nuisance. Well, I could launch a missile with this infantry. Maybe I will. Keep that one at 3 HP where it's relatively easy to kill off. And then let's just shoot down that tank. Maybe we can send that into retreat in the nearby city, and I might just try to heal up there. Which would leave it as possible easy prey for Grit, so. Alright. We are in her base, killing her dudes. I sometimes go for wipeouts for fun. You can usually achieve one around turn 13 if you're good. But you don't actually win for doing that, so it's pointless. The typical way this mission goes is that in the early days, Max or Kanbei holds off Lash for a little bit using the starting units. Meanwhile, Colin is building up Neotanks and things like that and driving them forward. You fight a battle to take control of the factory slowly, and then Max or Kanbei goes in for the kill with bombers from the west. Sometimes Colin will have bombers coming from the east too, but his are not very effective, so mostly they help taking control of the center instead of actually taking out the pipe seam. That's the conventional good but not as good as this way to play the mission, basically. I guess I'll get Grit a little bit of an economy. Shouldn't matter too much, though. Okay. What is the best way to tackle things here? I mean, it'd be great if we could just... Yeah, why not? Block her off there. And then we'll just start tearing down this tank. Canby is starting to slowly run out of steam. This might force her into repair mode, though, which will leave her no, didn't do quite enough damage. Okay. Well, that's alright. Oh good, she does actually stay there, so might be possible to clear her off the factory and just block it for fun. Canby artillery don't care that much. Still just trying to set up over here. Still one off. You know, if you yield, Grit says that it won't be as easy as just walking in here and taking a shot at the pipe, but boy is he wrong about that. Okay. Okay, we blocked one of Lash's bases. If Canby can't have bases, no one can. And we'll walk over there and you can just start shelling the next one. Alright, we're in position. Well, for honor and glory, let's go for the wipeouts then. It's not a guaranteed kill, but there's a decent chance of a kill. I'm gonna go for that. Nope. Okay. But the good thing is that guy will just stay there and heal forever, I think. Likewise with this mech here. Oh, or I could just kill it. Luck makes a big difference in your power turn efforts in this game sometimes. It'll be no problem in this case, there's plenty of targets around, and I only need 2 kills sometime because my strategy is so effective. As in many things, it's more important and more valuable to have good strategy than to have good tactics. I'll walk over there to launch a missile on some future turn, I think. At this point, I'm mostly just trying to see, how far I can push until Lash completely collapses. Okay, so we start shooting at the factory. And I'm going to take a shot at that anti-air too, of course, setting it up to be a power turn kill next turn. I could have maybe even killed it with an infantry if I'd had a little bit better luck, but oh well. Put some damage on that for fun. Double kill, so that should be an easy power score for Grit. Alright, Kanbei. You know, I'm actually okay with that tank living, because I think that if I block off the city with my infantry, she will retreat to her base to get repairs, thereby blocking her base for me. So either way would work out just fine for me as long as I block that city. Yep. So I think it's clear at this point that I have effectively wiped Lash out as of turn 11. Kanbei's last turn will just finish everything else that she has off and block her bases. A complete wipeout by turn 11 is the best that I've seen by far. This is also by a good margin the fastest win I've seen anybody else do in this mission. The fastest time I've seen from somebody else is 13 turns. If you can think of a way to beat this mission in 10 turns, by all means show me. I would love to see that. I don't think it's possible. I can think of a few other ways to get turn 11 wins, but nothing faster than this. And nothing that also gets a perfect power and technique score while also just for fun wiping out the enemy by turn 11 too. Well, that's right, they are both great commanders. Of course, you know, Grit was born an Orange Star, and I do think this is a pretty funny scene. Different dialogue here at the end, depending on who helped out. Well, I'm glad you finally understands that now. And by head for home, we actually mean let's drive over to Green Earth and help with the hardest campaign of all. I'm looking forward to it. Green Earth is absolutely fantastic. But you know, the Blue Moon campaign really grew on me this time while I was playing it. It used to be my least favorite, I think, but I had a ton of fun this time. Grit, you should have taken your nap during those first 2 turns while you're sitting back and doing nothing. Alright, on to Green Earth next time. Have a great day, everyone.